Hello everyone. I am re-recording the week 5 video for the RBA, or the Research-Based Argumentative Essay introduction. I apologize for anybody who tried to watch the other one and it did not work. Something didn't quite upload right. So for week 5, I'm going to walk you through some of these assignments that you need to know about. And the first assignment is to read the research-based essay, argumentative essay, assignment under resources. So I'm going to click on this, and you're going to find that assignment located right here under files, as well as it will be under resources. But I'm going to click on this assignment and kind of walk you through some of the basics of this, and I'm going to go back into my documents or downloads, and find where this had downloaded to. Now, this research-based argumentative essay assignment is going to be the big research paper. You need to be really good at MLA citing. So if you had trouble for the process analysis, or you were docked points in that first draft or the final draft for your citations, you're going to need to figure out what you are doing wrong and fix those for this essay. Otherwise, you're going to be docked substantial points. The first thing is this assignment offers you an opportunity to develop your expertise on a topic that you find interesting. You're going to make you'll identify the topic, make a claim about it, which will be your thesis, and support the claim with reasons and evidence based on your research. Now, this reading, this stuff that's here that's highlighted, that's the next reading that we will do. So you're going to have to read that after you read this assignment prompt, so that you understand what a research-based argumentative essay is. It's not necessarily listed on this sheet. These are just the essay requirements. We have the purpose, audience. You're going to be writing to an academic audience that's skeptical or holding opposing viewpoints. And you have two different ways to write this paper. You can write a position paper or a proposal paper, and those definitions are listed there. It does need to be an MLA 8th edition. The length is 2,000 to 2,400 words. This does not include your works cited page. It does not include titles, headings, etc. It is just the body of the essay. For the research, you're required to have 8 sources total, and I'm going to break those sources down for you. You need to have at least 6 scholarly sources, so you need to be clicking the peer-reviewed or scholarly box when you get into those databases. Or books are in fact scholarly, so if you find a book on your topic and it's coming from a university press or was published by some type of collegiate press, likely it is scholarly. So take advantage of some of the print books if at your public library, if you can find any. And of these 6 scholarly sources, at least 1 must have been published in a scholarly journal. So all of those databases, especially ProQuest and EBSCOhost, are going to have a lot of scholarly journals. Check those out first. Those will give you some good hits, hopefully. You may use 2 non-popular or non-scholarly or popular sources, which include magazine articles, newspapers, websites. General reference works are included in the popular or non-scholarly sources, so encyclopedias and dictionaries if you're using a definition. But only in addition to the 6 required scholarly sources. You have to have at least the 6 scholarly sources, and then anything after that, as long as you get to 8, is fine. You're going to want to stay away from, obviously, Wikipedia, WebMD, anything that people can generally write that don't necessarily need to be an expert on the topic. And if you're going to be using a dictionary, use the Oxford English Dictionary or Merriam-Webster. And then obviously a correctly formatted works cited page must accompany each full draft, and they have to be documented in MLA 8th edition. I have a few formatting reminders here, but the first draft is going to be a little bit different than the final draft. In the first draft, I only want to see your 6 scholarly sources integrated into the paper, and those 6 scholarly sources listed on the works cited. It needs to be 2,000 words minimum, MLA format, and has to be on time. This is what I'm grading your first draft on. I do not grade first drafts on content because they're first drafts and likely we have a lot of work to do. There will be 2 peer reviews and 1 self-review on Turnitin.com's PeerMark, and then the final draft will be 2,000 words. The 8 sources total, minimum of 6 scholarly. You can have up to 8 scholarly if you would like, and then you may, if you don't want to use all 8 scholarly, have 6 scholarly and 2 popular or non-scholarly sources. You can go over this amount of sources. If you already have your 6 scholarly sources and say you find another 4 that are popular, go ahead. The more sources, the better in most cases. And then obviously this needs to be an MLA 8th edition as well. So that's that assignment. We're going to go back to coursework here. And I'm going to show you the rest of the assignments that you need to complete in order to understand what's going on this week in week 5. You'll read chapter 10 in Steps to Writing Well, 287 to 297. These are the page numbers that were listed on this assignment. This is going to help you understand what it is that we are trying to complete when we write our research-based argumentative essay. Then you're also going to read this student example on GMOs. The student example is in MLA 8th edition. It should give you a pretty good idea of what's going on with the research-based essay and how the student is using research to back up their argument. Finally, you're going to be reading, this is all before Wednesday, you're going to be reading Mandatory Voting Won't Cure Dismal Turnout and Required Voting Yields Benefits. This is a PDF. If you click on it, you'll be able to access that PDF. Both articles are in there. It's very short. And after you do that, there is going to be a forum on the 2 different arguments on mandatory voting. One is for, one is against. So that'll hopefully give you a sense of what the sides of the topic are. Now, when you pick a topic, you need to have one side of the topic that you are arguing for. You cannot argue for both. You have to be very much, I'll give the example of abortion because it's banned. You have to be very much either for abortion or against abortion. You can't be somewhere in between. You can't say that it depends on the situation. You have to stand your ground when you're picking one of these topics. And I just used abortion as a topic because, as I mentioned, it is not allowed. Then you'll have a pre-writing forum. In this pre-writing forum, the directions are on here. You'll have a 100-word initial post, 50-word response to one peer. And please review the pre-writing section in Steps to Writing Well if you don't remember some of this stuff. But you're going to choose one pre-writing method that the book mentions and write about a 100-word long post that names at least 3 potential research topics that you're interested in writing about with that pre-writing method. I've included an example here. This is the student's RBA essay potential topics or questions that I would like to explore, and this is via listing. So I've created a list, and in my list, maybe I'm going to compare and contrast the aesthetics, character types, and quests of ancient Arthurian legend and literature to the J.K. Rowling Harry Potter series and how these 2 function similarly and differently. Maybe I'm interested in how Margaret Sanger's ideas on contraception affected 21st century contraception ideas, laws, and methods. Maybe I'm interested more in the pop scene, and I want to explore how pop icon Lady Gaga uses postmodern art in her image, and how does her image portray postmodern art, after her release of the album Art Pop. Or maybe I'm interested in science a little bit more. I read an article that scientific experimentation in mice has successfully blocked painful memories in said mice by inhibiting the formation of a particular molecule in the brain. These painful memories are specifically formed by drug use. If this were a science that in the future could be performed on the human brain, what are the ethical and moral implications of erasing negative associations formed by drug use? What are the risks, if any? These are some of my topic ideas that I'm interested in exploring, and I've done that through listing. In your response to a peer, you're going to choose one of the topics in the initial post and explain to your peer why or why not you believe the topic would work best for the research-based essay. Use a minimum of 50 words up to do this. And then your response should offer your peer something in return. So help him or her with what you may already know about the topic. Do a little bit of research to help them determine what the database has for sources, and maybe participate in a mini discussion about why you think his or her topic sounds interesting to you. So here I've created this peer response. I believe your topic on Arthurian legend and Harry Potter sounds interesting, as I'm a Harry Potter fan. Although I don't know much about Arthurian legend, by simply searching Arthurian legend, there were so many books and articles that popped up in the database, and even actual books about King Arthur, such as Lancelot du Lac, The Death of King Arthur, and the more recent Once and Future King. Additionally, there are so many renditions to choose from that have been produced as movies. It seems like Dumbledore and Merlin have quite a few things in common, as well as Harry and Arthur. So do a little bit of research. Help them out a little bit in this pre-writing forum. That's all due on Wednesday. If we look what's due on Friday, we have a few readings. We're going to be reading Common Logical Fallacies. That's only about 3 pages or so in Steps to Writing Well. We're going to read NASA's climate change article, How Do We Know About Climate Change? And that website is listed there. And then we're going to read Writing a Research Paper on the Purdue OWL website, and I've listed all of those websites for you. If you click on them, you'll be able to access those websites. It's going to break down the writing process again for you in a different way, different from the book. Then you're going to have a Google document assignment class, which is going to be called Class Notes on Common Logical Fallacies. Each one of you is assigned a common logical fallacy, and you will need to complete a little baby assignment on this on a Google document. If you've never used Google Docs, please use this link to access some notes on how to use Google Documents. And then here is the Google document link. So if you click on this Google document link, it will take you directly to the Google document page, and you will follow these instructions. And there's a couple of other resources. You can see Purdue OWL's Logical Fallacies website. The University of Idaho has a good website on common logical fallacies, and the University of Texas at El Paso does as well. You're going to be listing 3 to 4 bullet points that help to define, explain, and give background information, and then find a YouTube video that demonstrates that fallacy, as well as in 2 to 3 sentences how that video demonstrates your fallacy. And I've included an example for you. Read through this example so you understand what I expect and what those explanations should look like. I'm going to click out of this and hopefully go back to the Lake Area Tech page and back to the assignment list. So that is that Google document. Write directly on the document, please, so that everyone has access to your notes. Also, there's a NASA forum. If you click on the NASA forum, you can follow these instructions. You will be required to have 1 peer response and 1 initial post, so 100 words, 50-word peer response. Make sure you are completing the word count for that. If you aren't, you won't get the points. And then finally, for Friday, you'll be doing Sketch 1, which is a topic proposal. If you click on the Sketch 1 topic proposal, the assignment does require, I've listed it here, and I've also listed it down here in document form, but the assignment does require an actual topic proposal, so make sure that you're following these instructions clearly and carefully. In the last topic proposal assignment, I, for whatever reason, got some outlines and some different stuff that didn't actually follow the instructions, so make sure you're reading carefully. So here's kind of a basic idea of what you're going to be including, and here's some helpful hints about selecting writing topics. You need to be going for the unusual and unfamiliar stance or solution. The following topics here are banned topics because they are stale. They're universal stock topics of freshman comp, and we need to branch out of that and find something fun and exciting to write about. So view the following website for unique and interesting paper topic ideas. There's a bunch of them there if you're having trouble, if you see something on the list maybe that you're interested in that is banned. If you can put a different type of a spin on it, you can always email me, and I might say no, I might say yes, but it has to be a very, very different spin from just something like the death penalty or gun control or gay marriage, because those have been overdone and overused. So please be aware that this website that I've listed for you right here does list some of the banned topics, so double check yourself and not choose that banned topic. It needs to be an MLA 8th edition, so this is paragraph form, double space, Times New Roman, 250 to 350 words. And the topic proposal should answer these following questions, so put them in paragraph form and give me a little bit more information about what you're hoping to write about. We're going to go back to the assignment list, and the last 2 assignments for the week of week 5, you will be doing an annotated bibliography, and the instructions are here. I have included this student example. I would like you to read the student example. It will help you get a sense of what this annotated bibliography should look like, because many of you might not have completed one before. Now, if you click on Sketch 2 and go into your downloads or however your computer accesses this information, you will see that you have to have 6 scholarly sources in your annotated bibliography. Use the following resources. These 3 documents are under resources, and that will walk you through it additionally to whatever, or to what you are looking for in the databases, excuse me. And then there are some steps to this annotated bibliography. I mentioned I have included that example under the student example.